Hi everyone, to continue our conversation from class, let me go over these steps one more time. So basically what is happening is, so recall that there are, in each quadrant, the trig values repeat itself with a positive or a negative sign in front of them. So this means that for each inverse problem, there can be more than one solutions. So how do we find that? Example. Now, as I go through this example, these are the 4 steps that I'm going to follow. So let's say find all solutions to sine theta equals 0.1 for theta more than 0 degrees and less than, say, 360 degrees. So here's a solution. Step 1, right, is the calculator solution. So for calculator solution, we saw this in class today. If sine theta equals 0.1, then theta is sine inverse of 0.1. Then making sure it's in the correct mode. In my case, it is in degrees. This comes out to 5.74 degrees, which I identify as being in quadrant 1. Step 2 is possible answers, right? So step 2 is possible quadrants. Okay, now because 0.1 is positive, based on ASTC, my solution can be in quadrant 1 or quadrant 2. Now quadrant 1, I already have that solution. So I need to figure out quadrant 2. Okay. So now step 3 is I'm going to figure out the quadrant 2 angle using reference angle. How's that? My quadrant 1 angle is 5.74 degrees. From this, I want to figure out a quadrant 2 angle which has the same reference angle. So if I draw a quadrant 2 angle and I want the same reference angle, then this must be 5.74 degrees, which means that the actual measure of this angle must be 180 degrees minus 5.74 degrees, that is 26, so 174.26 degrees. And then maybe last step, what you can do is verify. Verify by finding sine of 5.74 degrees and sine of 174.26 degrees. Plug that in. You have sine of 5.74 is 0.1 and sine of 174.26 is also 0.1. Okay, so that makes sense. Now let's look at an example which is with a negative number. So same question for tan theta equals -2. So step 1, is the calculator. So from the calculator, if I have tan theta equals -2, theta is tan inverse of -2, and the calculator should give you something like -63.43 degrees. Now the negative indicating that it's measured clockwise, and therefore this is in quadrant 4. So here we have an extra step. We put in a different ink. So extra step is write the negative angle as a positive angle. What does that mean? That means that I know this means this angle is 63.43 degrees. Therefore, this positive angle is going to be 360 minus 63.43, which is 360 minus 63.43 is 296.57 degrees. Step 2, possible quadrants. So -2 is negative, and based on ASTC, tan is negative in quad 2, quad 4. Now the answer we found is in quad 4, right? So now we need to figure out the quadrant 2 angle. Okay, so what do? We draw what we know. We know the quadrant 4 angle, and just from the diagram above, we actually directly know its reference angle. Now I'm looking for quadrant 2 with the same reference angle, which means this must be 63.43 degrees. Consequently, the actual measure of the angle is going to be 180 degrees minus 63.43. So 180 minus 63.43 is 116.57 degrees. And now the last step is verify. So to verify, I use a calculator to find tan of 116.57 and tan of 296.57. So I type that in, making sure it's in the right. So this comes out to -1.9999, which is just -2, and tan of 296.57, which also comes out to -1.9999, which is pretty much -2. Okay, so that's the end of this. I'll upload this PDF along with the examples and the notes from today's lectures. Thank you.